What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick and plays for Friday, December 13th, 2024, and Saturday and Sunday. We got you covered for the whole weekend with tons of slips. We got 7 slips, I believe, today. Man, I need to count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slips. Yeah. So if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, you're dipping the toe in the water, use promo code DailyDog. It's the best promo code out there. 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Use that bonus funds on some of these slips. Get a free roll. It's not money coming out of your bank account. It's just the added money, the bonus money in there after you put in your deposit, which actually that money does come out of your bank account, not to mislead you. But it is only 1x rollover, so use your bonus fund once and you can withdraw them. So let's get into it. I don't want to spend too much time talking about yesterday, although I am a little bit annoyed that somehow, some way, the Penguins had 9 goals against the Canadiens. And Evgeny Malkin did not have a point in a 9-goal performance by the Penguins. So it is what it is. On to the next day. And again, I said we got lots to get to today, so let's get after it. Anthony Edwards higher than 3.5 three-pointers made. This is our Friday NBA slip, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Anthony Edwards higher than 3.5 three-pointers made. The Lakers are coming to town against the T-Wolves. I don't know if you noticed, but teams have been shooting pretty well against the Lakers lately. Let's see if the Anthony Edwards three-pointer streak keeps on going. He's been so hot from the line this year. Let's go Anthony Edwards, higher than 3.5 three-pointers. Next, we're going to go Ja Morant, higher than 21.5 points. Ja Morant has been very good since he's been back. 21.5 points is definitely within his wheelhouse in this game. And last one, we're going to go to Nikola Vucevic, higher than 19.5 points against the lowly Charlotte Hornets. They're coming to town. Bulls. Vucevic is a bully. He beats up on bad teams. The Hornets qualify as a bad team, so give me Vucevic higher than 19.5 points. I think this one's definitely going to steam up. I mean, that's kind of the similar story with Ja Morant versus the Nets. He's averaging 21.7 points per game. He had 32 in his last one, and that was a win at the Celtics, by the way. Then prior to that, he had 31 against the Mavs. He had a bad game against Sacramento, sandwich in there, but that's going to happen. Ja can crush this number. I mean, I'm not saying go play an alt, but if you did, that wouldn't be the end of the world. And that's just regular season NBA on Friday. We do have a Saturday NBA Cup slip coming up later in the show. But that 3-leg NBA slip, Anthony Edwards higher than 3.5 three-pointers made. Ja Morant higher than 21.5 points. And Nikola Vucevic higher than 19.5 points for the Bulls is a 5.4x multiplier. Let's start out simple. Let's get a nice 5.4x to start our weekend and keep on moving. Only one NHL game we got going on this Friday evening, but that doesn't mean we can't make a slip. We're going to go with Brady, Tkachuk higher than 0.5 points as the Senators travel to face the Carolina Hurricanes, who are absolute wagon at home. And on that note, I am going to take Sebastian higher than 0.5 goals. The Senators can get scored on for 1, and 2, Aho is a machine at home. He's going to perform. Last one, though, we're going to go with Tim Stutzle, another Senator, higher than 0.5 assists. Again, that's Tim Stutzle. Sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing all these names. But, when you're covering every sport, I can't get lost in all the details on how to pronounce every single one. So that Friday NHL slip, Brady Tkachuk higher than 0.5 points, Tim Stutzle higher than 0.5 assists, and Sebastian higher than 0.5 goals is a 5.85x multiplier. All right, on to Saturday. We're going to start with Saturday college football. Kanye Udoh, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. He is a running back for the United States Military Academy, aka Army. Udoh is actually a big play running back. His longest rush number is at like 18.5. You can play that, or you can play his rushing yards over. But basically, if he's getting those, he's going to have a big rush. If he gets a big rush, he's probably going to score because he's got that breakaway speed that's kind of rare in the academy. So give me Kanye Udoh higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Next one, Hayden Wolf, higher than 0.5 interceptions for the Western Michigan as they take on South Alabama in their bowl game. Long story short, the best tight end on Western Michigan is in the transfer portal, not playing in this game. Wolf is going to be a little less comfortable. He's losing his best receiver, so he's going to try to force some plays. I think he's going to throw an interception to this fast and athletic South Alabama defense. Speaking of South Alabama, we're going to take Kentrel, Bullock higher than 82.5 rushing yards. Fluff Bothwell, stud freshman running back for South Alabama in the portal on his way out. That means guys like Kentrel Bullock are going to lift the load. And Bullock rushed for 700 yards this year, so it's not like he's not used to having any sort of workload. I think that they're going to be able to tear up this Western Michigan defense. I think he's going to have some big runs. 82.5, very much in the realm of possibility. This Saturday college football slip is a 7.68x juicer. I like it. Kanye, Udoh higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Hayden, Wolf higher than 0.5 interceptions. And Kentrel, Bullock higher than 82.5 rush yards. Saturday NBA, the NBA Cup, we're going Bobby Portis higher than 13.5 points. In 3 out of 4 NBA Cup games, Bobby Portis has crushed this number. He's going to continue to do it. He's the secret weapon in the NBA Cup. Bobby Portis, playoff Bobby, whatever you want to call him. It's not quite the playoffs, but it's kind of close. Give me Bobby Portis higher than 13.5 points in this game. Next, we're going to go to Alperen Sengun, higher than 0.5 3-pointers made. Big game against the Thunder, potential rivalry brewing with these younger dudes on the Rockets versus the younger dudes on the Thunder. Alperen Sengun, higher than 0.5 3-pointers made. He's going to take a couple in this game. Let's hope he makes his first one. We can move on to the next one. And the next one is VanVleet, higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. He had a rough game last go for the Rockets, but late in that game, VanVleet was hitting clutch ones. He's back to heating up. Give me VanVleet higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. This is a very lucky 8.88x multiplier. Shout out to 888. Let's keep on moving. Saturday UFC. We're going to go with Daniel Marcos, fight time lower than 13.5 minutes against Adrian Yanez. So the problem is that Daniel Marcos is a little bit of a decision fighter. Yanez doesn't do that. He either gets knocked out or gets a knockout. There's going to be so much action in this fight very early. I love this under 13.5 minutes. So give me Daniel Marcos, fight time lower than 13.5 minutes, because he doesn't have to get the KO. He can get KO'd, and that one will still hit. And by the way, I like the chances. Next, we're going to go to one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, Sean Woodson, higher than 75.5 significant strikes landed. Sean, the sniper Woodson, is a significant strike machine. He's going against a rangy fighter in Fernando Padilla. Woodson is the rangiest fighter, but Padilla is also rangy. They're going to be standing up and exchanging blows from distance. Sean Woodson is a guy that I always love playing his higher than significant strike number, because it's almost impossible for him not to, as long as there's not like a prolonged ground exchanges, and I don't think that's going to happen here. The volume he throws, he's going to get there. It's hard to get out of his range because he's so long. People don't know how to get away from it, and he doesn't really swing for power. He just keeps touching you, keeps touching you, keeps touching you. So 75.5 significant strikes landed. Definitely high probability of that one hitting. Next, we're going to go to Cub Swanson, higher than 70.5 significant strikes against Billy Quarantillo. I think Cub Swanson is a little underrated in this spot. I think Cub Swanson still has, high level striking. So give me Cub Swanson higher than 70.5 significant strikes here. This is a 6x multiplier, pretty flat. I stayed away from the main event because there's a lot of unknowns there. I think Joaquin Buckley is a very, very, good favorite in that fight. But there's stuff that can happen, like, the pressure from Colby Covington could get that fight on the ground or make it a clinch exchange. Or there's also the fact that Joaquin Buckley has a great chance of getting the big power KO, because that's what he's been doing lately. So I don't want to get involved in that fight. Too much variance there. So it's a Daniel Marcos fight time lower than 13.5 minutes. Sean Woodson higher than 75.5 significant strikes landed. And Cub Swanson higher than 70.5 significant strikes landed. 6x multiplier. All right, Sunday NFL, one of the most fun parts of the day. Kanye Fairburn higher than 1.5 field goals made. Texans are at home. Fairburn kicking field goals at home. Very, very good. Kanye Fairburn higher than 1.5 field goals made against the Dolphins. Lock it in. Next one, DeAndre Hopkins higher than 0.5 rush and receiving TDs. You can get an enhanced multiplier with Hopkins all the time. I think he's too good. I think that Mahomes is too good. He realizes that Nuke is a special player. He's going to get him involved in this game against the Cleveland Browns. Last one, Tyrone Tracy higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Tyrone Tracy is the best. Well, Neighbors is obviously the best, but he's like the second best offensive weapon on this team. I think that the Giants are going to be able to stick around a little bit with the Ravens in this massive spread football game on Sunday. If they do, Tyrone Tracy is scoring the touchdown. He is an explosive player. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball between the tackles, run outside, wherever. I think that this Ravens D is a little bit overrated. I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be exposing that. This is 11.31x multiplier. Lastly, I got a bonus Lotto Flex. These are all my picks that were one short of making it onto the specific sports slip. So I put them all together. 3-day slip, 6-leg flex slip. Friday NHL. Shane oh my God, I can't pronounce this name. Shane Gosteberry, higher 0.5 points for the Panthers. Shane Gosteberry higher than 0.5 points for the Carolina Hurricanes. I think I said Panthers. Sorry, Carolina Hurricanes. Friday NBA, Brandon Miller higher than 3.5 3-pointers made. He's going to be throwing up the rock. They're going to need to get points against those Bulls. Saturday college football, Navy fullback Alec Texas higher 33.5 rush yards. Saturday NBA, Damian Lillard higher than 24.5 points. Saturday UFC, Navajo Sterling fight time lower than 8.5 minutes. Sunday NFL, Mac Jones higher than 6.5 rush yards. Is it 25x, 2.6x, or 0.25x flex slip because it is 6 legs. By the way, the Mac Jones I had at 5.5 rush yards, and it got moved to 6.5 before I could even hit lock on my slip. So we're on the right side. We're on the sharp side. Let's go. Let's win some money this week. Tons of slips. They're all listed below in the podcast description or the YouTube description, depending on how you're watching this. Good luck on all your picks, and let's make some money.